Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm super excited. I am doing a collaboration video with NYPrepper, and in this video is going to be part one. We are going to do a 300 Weatherby Magnum versus a 300 Remington Ultra Magnum. Now, I'm going to talk briefly about the history of both these cartridges, the case dimensions, then I'm going to show a velocity and accuracy test with factory ammo from Weatherby, and then I want to show you the potential of the 300 Weatherby with hand-loaded ammo. Don't forget to check out NYPrepper's part 2 video that has the 300 Remington Ultra Mag. Let's get into it. 300 Weatherby, technically invented in 1943. It's one of Roy's original cartridges. It happens to be the most popular Weatherby cartridge because of its versatility, its velocity. It's just an all-around amazing cartridge. As for velocity, up until 1996, it was the fastest 30 caliber Magnum that you could get in a factory rifle. It is still incredibly fast and viable as it's ever been. Let's go ahead and look at some of the numbers for it. The most popular bullet weight for 300 Weatherby is definitely the 180 grain. And in today's video, I'm going to be using the 180 grain AccuBond. One thing I wanted to point out was the water case capacity of each of these cartridges. With the 300 Weatherby, it's almost 92 grains of water capacity with a 180 grain bullet. And you can hand load it to just about 3,200 feet per second, a little bit below, according to Nosler. Now, I think the books kind of have it a little mild. In my particular rifle, I can get quite a bit more than 3,200 feet per second, which you will see later in the video. Let's look at what a 200 grain bullet will do. They say max around mid 3,050 feet per second. Again, I can get a bit more than that. In fact, I will spoil a little bit. 200 grain. My personal hunting load is a 200 grain at 3,100 feet per second. I've been able to get it up to almost 3,200 feet per second. It wasn't very accurate, so I have it down a little bit for accuracy. In 1999, Remington finally decided to make a 30 caliber Magnum, and they went big. In fact, it's an Ultra Magnum, and it definitely lives up to the name. The case is loosely based off of 404 Jeffries. It's not belted, as you can see, and it is a ginormous case. It's one of the biggest you can get. The only one bigger than this is a 378 Weatherby, and it can produce incredible velocities, especially when hand loading. Let's go ahead and look at the 180 grain. That's also a popular bullet for the RUM. Also, let's look at the case capacity. 104.7 grains of water capacity in a 180 grain. So that's a bit more, well over 10 grains more. And let's just look at the velocity when hand loading it. It's, wow, crazy. Mid 3,300 feet per second. That is moving. Really awesome performance. Let's go ahead and look at the 200 grain, because I showed the Weatherby. And this one is 3,185. That's fast. I bet some people can get 3,200 with a 200 grain bullet. Really good performance out of the RUM. I think it'd be fun just to find out what powder Weatherby is using for one of their most popular factory ammo bullets, the 180 grain AccuBond. Moment of truth, the powder that Weatherby uses is ball powder. Okay, I was not expecting this. My scale is saying there's 90 grains of powder. That is a lot of powder for a 180 grain bullet. Here is what 90 grains looks like with this specific ball powder. This is some really dense ball powder. Usually 90 grains of at least stick powder is a decent way up to the neck, and this is just right at the shoulder. The rifle that I have is a Weatherby Vanguard synthetic. It does have a 26-inch barrel. Everything is stock on it with exception to the trigger. I upgraded it to a Timney trigger and I absolutely love the trigger. Here is the advertised box velocity for the 180 grain AccuBond. I do have my doubts because we are in 50-degree weather, and so I'm going to guess it's going to be a little slower. It's going?
Yep.
The guy down there in the orange. Thank you.
Go ahead and chamber it. Okay, I'm ready. Just aim at the hill. Go ahead.
Good.
One hole.
Yep.
So do you
Let's look at the range results with that Weatherby Factory ammo. Not bad at all. 3-shot group. As you remember, 2 of the shots went into the same hole on the upper right. So it's 0.627 inch group, almost half MOA, getting there. And the average velocity was 3,178 feet per second. That I'm a little disappointed by. I'm not surprised. I've always found factory ammo to go slower than what it says on the box. I do think that not a very good temp stable powder, so you probably could get 3250 in hotter weather. Again, it was 50 degrees today, so a little on the colder side. But for factory ammo, I'm pretty happy with that. Now that we know the baseline for factory ammo, let's see what the true potential is for the 300 Weatherby mag. So what I have is I've loaded up a 175 grain Barnes LRX with reloader 22. I'm going to do a ladder test just to be safe, make sure I don't blow myself up. But we're going to see what's the max I can get with a 180 grain class bullet. Should be pretty fun. Hope you don't blow yourself up. $33.94. Holy
Robin Hood.
By the way, this is the 300 Weatherby group for the ladder test, so these weren't even all the same weight, obviously, with the grains. Probably 3/4 inch group, maybe smaller, and got up to almost 3,400 feet per second. Crazy.